Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from Kiss 106 and 103gbfrocks.com. Alongside my tag team partner in podcasting, the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Suck it, Jake the Snake. It's my day.
Do we know? Have we talked about what wrestlers share your birthday before?
So I looked it up. There are three, and they're not great. I mean, one's pretty cool. So Karma, I don't know.
That's Awesome Kong.
Blake.
Just Blake?
Yeah, it says Blake. And then the only one.
Happy birthday, Blake.
Happy birthday, Blake. Xavier Woods. There
you go. That's a keeper.
Yeah, keeper. Xavier Woods is a good one. Yesterday would have been TJ Perkins, and tomorrow is the Barbarian, which I would have been okay with.
Okay. So
that's good.
How's your birthday going?
It's going well. I'd like to start by saying Tony Danza just wished me a happy freaking birthday, and that was amazing.
What happened?
The Tony Danza. Hold me closer, Tony Danza.
That's the one. Who's the boss?
Who's the boss? It's him. So he's coming to the Williamsport Community Arts Center. He's doing this show where he sings American standards. He's going to play ukulele. He's going to do some soft shoe. He's going to tap. He's doing that's this show, I guess. And he's also promoting a new Netflix show that's coming out on the 21st. And so I was talking to him a lot, and he was wishing me a happy birthday, and he was talking about getting older and telling great stories. And he was just an interesting guy. But I brought up the point that, in the 80s, 1984, he's getting a show on ABC. They wrote a show for him. Of course, all of his shows, he's been Tony in all of them. And he finds out he's on ABC, network TV, and it's a huge deal. I said, is it as big a deal to you to know that in 2018 you're on Netflix with a Netflix original? Is that as big as being on a network? And he said it is, but he doesn't he said, I'm old-fashioned, I'm romantic about television, and there was something nice about having to wait a week to see your show and wait until Tuesday to get your season finale and to get some resolutions on what you saw the week before, which is funny because who's the boss? You could watch it out of order and you wouldn't even know. He doesn't like the show dump that Netflix does.
Sure.
But I sure do. And I was like, I get that. And I remember having appointment television. He calls it the tyranny of convenience. He's like, you got to have it now. I was like, but there's something to be said for having a bowl of ice cream and watching your show till 6 a.m.
Yeah, I get both sides. I mean, I like and don't like binge watching. Like, for example, I binge watched this weekend. I binge watched season 2 of Ozark. And
I can't wait for that. I'm waiting for Kelly to catch up. I saw the first season. That show is great.
Yeah, the show's awesome. But now, I mean, I only have an episode and a half left, but I just blew my whole wad. It's just I'd rather kind of stretch that out a little bit. So here, I kind of call it a necessary evil. Like, if you have to watch, if they dump it, you're going to watch it, even though I'd rather they dump it once a week.
There's only a couple times that I like the binge a lot because you're right. When you get a season and you're like, I love this, and then you're done in a week and you're like, I'm out of my show. The only time I like is when I don't have to deal with the season ending cliffhanger. Like you told me about a Walking Dead cliffhanger that was this huge thing that lasted all summer and everybody was crazy about it. Well, I've been watching.
Who did Negan kill?
Well, I've been watching some of it and I didn't have to wait. He goes ahead and there's a cliffhanger for 5 minutes until I hit next episode season.
You're watching Walking Dead?
A little bit. I'm bouncing around. I like it.
Bouncing around? How do you bounce around on Walking Dead?
I got sick of the second season and I moved away.
Oh, the second season's where it gets good, I thought.
Or the third season. I when they get to a prison, I read that it was terrible in the prison and I just skipped that season completely.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that was season 3. 2 was on the farm. I like the farm.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that in more detail off the air.
Right.
Happy birthday again, pal.
Thank you, pal.
Did you watch the Labor Day Raw last night?
I did. I have one more quick story, and then I'm going to get into the Labor Day Raw.
Sure.
If you don't mind. Yesterday, I'm at my mother's house celebrating my birthday, and my son Evan, who's 7, found a treasure trove of stuff in my closet, my high school bedroom closet. And he found like Steeler stuff I didn't even remember that I had. He found a Dude Love in a box that I had still in the box. Now I have the 3 Faces of Foley in the box too that he doesn't open, but he opened this one and it broke my heart. He found baseball hats. He was finding baseball cards. He was bringing all this stuff down, kept making trips upstairs and then downstairs. And I'm on the porch with my mom and my sister and my wife and my sister's kids and my kids and everybody's there. And he brings down this like cooler and it's zipped. And he's like, what's in here? And I was like, well, let's find out. And I opened it up and I was like, oh my God. And I zipped it back. And I was like, we're done. We're out of here. I'm done. And I got up and everyone's like, what's going on? What's in it? And Evan's dying to look in it. And Kelly looks at me. I just looked over and I went, he found my nudie stuff.
I was going to say a bag of pots.
He found my porn. No, he found Perfect 10's porn. He found a video and 2 magazines, but didn't know it. And my mom just went, oh, Jesus, Jerry. And I was like, well, you didn't clean out the bedroom. It's not my fault. I was like, it took you literally 26 years to find it. And
you know, I have been gifted a Jerry Valderi dirty magazine.
See, I used to watch porn the old-fashioned way, not like you millennials.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Same here. Remember on your the day before, like your wedding, you said, I mean, I don't know if it's a true story or not, but this is what you told me. You found this Hustler in your hotel room drawer.
Right there by the Bible. Yeah, I did. That's true.
That's true. I just feel like I was telling that story to somebody. I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what he told me.
It's true. I swear to God. I know I sometimes embellish for a good story, but that was true, and yesterday was true.
So you came knocking on my door, and you're like, hey, I found this in my drawer. Do you want it? And I was like, hell yeah, I want it. That's a Hustler.
Heck yeah. Perfect 10. Perfect 10. Damn, pal. So let's get into Raw, and I want to start Raw by saying, I told you guys that Kevin Owens stuff was a work. Like I told you that it was a work.
I love you.
I freaking knew it. I knew it. I saw last night. I went,
you saw that he signed a 5-year deal not long ago. And so all that stuff about them moving him to the alumni section of the website, that was all. And you saw, I mean, right through it.
The joke here is, if for people that don't know, is you posted like the pictures of the alumni page, making fun of the fact that they're going out of their way to show that they're working. But I thought you were being serious, and I was like, I'm going to reveal. I was like, oh my God, dumb Rob thinks that it's a shoot, and he didn't quit for real. And now I'm embarrassed.
So Jerry's like, guys, I don't know. I heard he just signed like a 5-year deal, and Jerry was taking it so seriously, and everyone's just kind of posting gifs and making fun of it. It was true post show at its best.
Well, I told you it was a work. I was right. I wasn't wrong.
Jerry he got us all. He got the last laugh for sure.
Sure did.
So wait, he came back with it was Lashley, right?
Taking on but Lashley, sure.
Interesting choice, I guess. I don't seem to see where the math adds up there, but okay.
It sucks for Kevin Owens. Like I don't.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Because I feel like they're still pushing Lashley, even though that feels like that experiment is going to stop at some point, but not yet.
No, not yet. And you're right. I think it's not going to go very well. I don't know what it is with him. He just never can get traction going, man. It's just so weird. He seems so it's the same thing with Apollo Crews. I just feel like these guys have so much potential. And for whatever the reason, and for at least with both of those guys, it seems like a combination of everything. Like, it seems like they're doing themselves no favors. It seems like the writers are doing them no favors, and the crowd's doing them no favors. It's just the perfect storm of bad. And with
Kevin Owens, I think that he's done some really good stuff, even since the Chris Jericho stuff. But I feel like the WWE just hasn't cared since he had the big Festival of Friendship lead up to WrestleMania, the WrestleMania match that I enjoyed that Vince McMahon did not enjoy. There's video evidence of that. And they gave his championship to Goldberg quickly, and then they've never really looked back on giving Kevin Owens another chance. I just see him getting buried again by Lashley. I do.
I don't feel like I have a different takeaway from all that stuff. Like when he was doing it, he's never been forgotten really. And even still, he's not forgotten. Like this could be going somewhere good. Like even when he was a Zayn on SmackDown, he was still over. So
yeah, he's over, but I just don't see them putting a belt on him anytime soon. Not that he necessarily needs one, but
yeah, belts don't affect my enjoyment of somebody. So, where do you want to start? I guess my first note was that Renee Young's back. Is this 2 weeks in a row, or was it 2 weeks ago that she was on?
It was a couple weeks ago. It was Dean Ambrose's return that she was on.
That's right.
And then last night, because Coach was on special assignment, Coach has a lot of irons in the fire. I got for my birthday the new Madden video game, Madden 19, and he's all over that game. He's like, as the coach, he's like, hey, this is the coach here. He's one of the announcers. He does highlights at halftime. He's very involved with EA Sports and the NFL. And I know he does stuff with the Golf Network. And I've got to be honest with you, as much as I've always enjoyed Coach, I want him to go do more of that. And I don't want him on Raw anymore. I like Renee on Raw.
I still don't think Coach is the worst. I'd rather have Coach than Byron. I think that we've disagreed, at least some.
I don't disagree with that, but I would rather get rid of Coach than Renee. I'd rather have Renee.
I can go. Yeah, I'd rather have Renee, but I'd rather have Coach than Byron. Yeah, I can agree with that. And I'd rather have Morrow than all those guys.
Yeah. I mean, Morrow's the guy, but Morrow's got to be the middle chair. And at this point, Tom Phillips is going nowhere because he's a mini Michael Cole, and Michael Cole is going nowhere because he's Michael Cole.
They're both fine to me, though. I don't have a problem with either one of those.
Yeah.
The opening I thought was a little weird. I mean, it was intense, and it was like I suppose a fine pull apart, but I don't know. The whole thing kind of struck me as weird. The whole angle, the whole night long, all night long, struck me as weird. With the Shield going to jail. Go ahead. Why?
One, because Braun Strowman is not a natural heel right now.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Him trying to get the crowd to hate him and say, I don't care if you like it or not, and trying to get booed is as awkward as Roman Reigns trying to get cheered. Like I just feel like they
went the wrong way.
They're swimming upstream. Yeah, I think that they went against the grain on this one for sure. I don't mind. Listen, I don't mind Braun teaming up with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. It's not so great for Drew, I think, because when Drew stood next to Dolph Ziggler, he looked like Diesel. He looked like the giant of the group. He is now the second biggest guy in that group. That's all.
I still don't think this is going to last that long. I don't think this is a permanent thing. I mean,
they're hot-shotting the team quite a bit. I mean, they put the tag titles on Dolph and Drew, I think, just so they can flank Braun with gold as he goes into his Hell in a Cell against the Shield. Like, I like that. That's not, but I agree with you. Do they have a name? I didn't catch a name.
No, I don't think they had a name.
Until they give that faction a name, I don't think that it'll survive.
I don't think that's really a concern. I mean, I can see it maybe going through Survivor Series because I can see it being like a Shield versus, a Shield and a friend versus those three and a friend or something like that. But yeah, I don't think this is a permanent thing for Braun.
I think that Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman feud would be pretty decent too.
Say it again. Which two?
Drew McIntyre and Braun. I think if at some point when this relationship dissolves, if you have Drew and Braun going at it and Dolph's always helping Drew a little bit, kind of the reverse of the Dolph Seth Rollins thing. I think that could work, but I just don't know where they're headed right now. But you're not going to get me to boo Braun Strowman. Love the dude. I mark out. Like when his music hits, I don't care if I'm supposed to boo or not. If I'm at Hell in a Cell, I'm cheering Braun Strowman.
Plus, here's another thing I didn't like about the pull apart was like when you can see some of the quote unquote police officers, you can see some of them smirking and laughing when they're in the back. I don't know if you caught some of that. And then also it took me out of the moment big time so everyone's kind of fighting with the police. Like the Shields is kind of fighting back to when they're trying to put him in the paddy wagon,
Right.
And then as soon as they're in there, they're just kind of sitting still when they could be still fighting.
Unless they're chained to the seats, because sometimes you can do that in a paddy wagon.
They weren't chained to the seat though. They were just thrown in the car.
Oh, see, I didn't like the whole thing. Why are they getting arrested?
Yeah, the whole thing was really confusing to me, and I guess I didn't appreciate it very much, to be honest.
They did nothing to explain why they're being arrested or why there needed to be a pull apart. This looks like a standard brawl that we've seen the last 2 weeks in a row.
Why the whole locker room? I know that, Baron Corbin organized it, but why is the whole locker room out there?
I've never understood that anyways, and I hate that piece of booking. That's a pet peeve booking for me. Is if you really want to dig into it and I'm almost embarrassed when I dig that deep into a wrestling story, but
dig, pal.
What is Finn Balor's motivation for running out there? What does the Revival get for running out? Like, I don't understand why all of a sudden these guys are like, you know what? I'm getting involved because Baron Corbin told me to. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. These guys getting in the middle of these three or these six,
if Finn Balor went out, I didn't look specifically for him. That's a big booking error.
He came out. He was the head of the second wave. If you watch the second wave, he comes out and just gets bitched by Dean Ambrose.
So is it possible that maybe the Baron Corbin, I'm kind of writing it here, maybe Baron Corbin organized all the heels to go out there, and then Finn Balor kind of led the charge for the baby faces?
I thought that, but the Shield dispatched of both the heels and the faces. The Shield beat everybody up.
Yeah, I don't know. And then why?
It was weird booking to me. It was weird.
On what planet do criminals come back in a police car that they're driving? How does that happen?
Now I need to say because wrestling.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, come on. And not only that, like, to me, it felt so weak because that's Braun's gimmick. Braun could do it till the cows come home and it's not tired. Braun's come back in the trash truck. He's come back in an ambulance. I don't know. Seeing the Shield come out in a police car felt lame to me.
I just can't wait to see him tip the hell in the cell.
Oh, stop. Where's it going to go, pal?
Someone's getting smashed, pal.
It's going to go into the whole lower row, the whole lower floor.
I love it. They'll all die. They'll all die. I love it.
You mentioned that there's new tag team champions. I got that vibe. Now, I admit I got the vibe last week with Owens and Rollins, but I did kind of get the vibe that there was something that could happen involving that match, and it did.
Sayonara B team.
I hope not, but you're probably right. I told you they weren't going to last very long, and that's about what I expected.
Okay, just put the B team over there on the shelf with the Fashion Police, because that's where they're headed, unfortunately. Or because you know what, it's not the B team's fault. They can't be a powerhouse tag team like the Hart Foundation or Demolition or the Bushwhackers or Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. I mean, how are you going to say them in the same sentences? Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. F me in the A.
Well, there was another great tag team that made their debut last night too.
Who let the Ascension have a microphone, by the way? Holy hell.
And also, well, before we get to the debuting tag team, some more tag news.
Speak some names.
All right, I'll speak their names first. Keith Thompson and Jimmy James. Jimmy James has got to be the least, because it's just such a jobber thing to do to give someone two first names like that. And they really committed with Jimmy James. No relation to Brian James, I assume. I don't think so. I don't think so. He's not one of the 30 Armstrongs. Nevertheless, they debuted unceremoniously against the Authors of Pain, who were, interestingly enough, paired up with their new manager, Drake Maverick. Well, they're paying Drake Maverick. They need to get him to do something. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to say optimistic. I want to say that I was close.
Remember a couple weeks ago I said Paul Heyman and the Authors of Pain are going to team up, and it's going to be Heyman and the Authors of Pain, and they're going to team up. I meant to say Drake Maverick. Did I say Paul Heyman? I meant I meant Hot Spud Potato Spud.
Rockstar Spud.
Whatever his name is.
What about I just had a thought about this. Oh, why not Paul Ellering, I wonder? Although I think he may have been tired of doing that. That's my understanding.
Triple H had kind of explained that Paul Ellering, he liked the NXT schedule quite a bit. He did not want the main roster schedule. It's just no thank you.
Fair enough. Trying to think what other notes I had. Okay. What do you think about HBK and The Undertaker?
I wonder if you're going to miss that. Like, I was surprised there. I don't know, man. I prefer those two in my video games where they don't age. That's just.
I just didn't feel anything.
It didn't, because it's another Undertaker promo that doesn't mean anything or matter or go anywhere, because it's not going to go to a match between the two. God help us if it does, but I don't think it is.
Well, it's going to an Undertaker match.
It's going to an Undertaker match with Triple H, but the way he was talking with Shawn Michaels, I mean, calling him a coward, it just sounded like they were setting up a Shawn Michaels Undertaker feud.
Yeah, I don't know. Plus, it's like, this isn't even, it's another example. And I know this is kind of hearkening back to the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's not really a feud. It's just a match. And I know they're trying to give us a reason to care, but there's really no storyline substance to this match or feud.
Other than the fact that these guys used to feud and these guys used to have matches, and you know, when they were both in their prime, they had pretty good matches. And now one of them is way not in his prime, and the other one doesn't wrestle much. Okay, it's hard to look at Triple H's body and say you're not doing well for yourself, Triple H.
I was trying to figure out which one you were talking about. Assigning
the Undertaker's body is just shot. It's ravaged. Triple H's is not, but Triple H has more ring rust than the underneath the rings. So I assume that it's not gonna be a good match. It was barely a great. It was never a great match when they were both top of their game.
Yeah, there's no Triple H Undertaker matches that, in my opinion, are a must see. I'm assuming someone will call back to one of their two WrestleMania matches, probably their Hell in the Cell. But to me, they're a little bit of hype, I guess.
I said good.
Yeah, they're good.
Good is what I'll give them. I will not give them great. I know
Benny hates when I say it, but even the Shawn Michaels matches were both better, in my opinion, and I still don't even love those.
Yeah. Listen, Triple H had great matches with The Rock, and The Undertaker had great matches with Mankind, but they didn't have great matches together. They just didn't. Yeah,
I kind of agree with what you said there. So, again, they weren't bad, but I don't expect that show at the Greatest Super Show to be anything special.
Triple H had great matches with Mick Foley, too. Mick Foley was just great. Can we just take a second and say Mick Foley was great? You know what, Jared? On your birthday, we can both agree to take a second and say that Mick Foley is great. We speak your name. We speak your name, Mick Foley. Man, I love that guy. He's so good, and he's so underrated. And what's funny is my mom saw the Dude Love action figure yesterday and said, he looks like the Ultimate Warrior. And I was like, oh, not really. not even close, Mrs. Hilaire. Now, you should see him with his shirt off. He looks just like the Warrior. I've got a run sheet open here. If you want to hit anything, unless there's anything I'm missing right off the top. We got Braun Strowman versus Finn Bálor. Didn't do much for me. Let's see. We did Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Oh, okay. What about Alexa Bliss and Ronda Rousey? I'm okay with this. Yeah, me too. So far, so good. And I liked Alexa Bliss and Elias. I thought they were good together. Same. I also liked Elias with Trish Stratus the week before. I actually loved that. I like Elias a lot, but I just don't see him getting much more than being on a stool with a guitar. They're not really they're not going to push him to the moon, you know? I called that one. I mean, I never saw that taken off for him. He's already gotten farther than I kind of thought he would. The Bellas. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Finish what you were going to say. Cause I was just going to say on my birthday, I'd like to crap all over the Bellas if we could. Let's do it, pal. Holy cow. I do not need to see them on my TV anymore. They are the worst. Did you see I think it was Bree's failed tope? Yeah. Because she got hung up on her upper thighs and couldn't get out. She got saved, by the way. They saved her because instead of flailing around like a dum-dum, they attacked her as soon as she started to not get it.
Yeah, no, they recovered nicely, I suppose. But yeah, that was the Bellas.
Yeah.
We talked about Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, kind of. We did Authors of Pain. I'm assuming you don't want to talk about the Boston Hug connection over Dana Brooke and Ember Moon.
Oh, please, oh, please.
We mentioned you've got Kevin Owens and Bobby Lashley. I mean, I guess we covered everything. It might not have been as long as I was hoping for, but
Braun Strowman beating Finn Bálor.
Yeah, again, I mentioned it really. I mean, did it do anything for you? Because it didn't for me.
No, you know, for a holiday show, they gave us more than they sometimes do on a holiday show.
That's true.
I mean, they rolled out the Undertaker and HBK, which I know you and I didn't move the needle with us, but there were people. Everybody at Ohio State yesterday, they were geeking out. I mean,
no, I'm with you.
It's hard not to mark out for those. And
I would say, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The stuff with the Shield was cool at first, even though it made absolutely no sense. It's a crowd popper for sure. And they established the team of Braun, Drew, and Dolph, which doesn't have a name yet, so it doesn't feel real yet.
My thing was, I would say it was better than your normal Monday holiday show. The Monday holidays being pretty much Labor Day, Memorial Day. But I would say not as good as, the week before or a normal Raw, in my opinion. Beatable.
I'll give it a solid. It didn't ruin my birthday.
That's nice of you. Yeah, that's fair.
But it's still up to SmackDown because SmackDown could ruin my birthday.
Man, I thought I had a question that came out of this episode, but I can't think of what it is now. There was something we had a little bit of a disagreement on. I don't remember what it was now.
Well, yeah, you thought the Kevin Owens thing was a shoot, and I thought it was a work.
Yeah.
That's what we disagreed on, and I got it right.
You totally nailed it. I mean,
nailed it.
My face is still red.
I know. It should be.
All right, Jared. Dude, hey, have a great birthday. You got anything exciting planned today?
It's a regular day in the life. They're actually giving me a freaking air check at work, of all things, and then football practice and dance, and it's just a regular school night in the Valeri house.
Plus, it's a Tuesday that feels like a Monday.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday that feels like a Monday, and I'll watch SmackDown, and I don't know, maybe I'll see my wife naked today. I'm looking forward to that. Maybe that's still a maybe.
I'm looking forward to it too. Hopefully, I'll get to see her naked.
It's cheaper than a Nintendo Switch. I gave her two choices. I want a Switch or a humdinger. It's your choice.
Go with the Switch, pal.
I'll take the Switch.
All right, for myself, my tag team partner, the birthday boy, Jerry Valeri. Everybody wish Jerry a happy birthday in the comments so that he knows he's loved. Yeah, because I count them and I take them to heart. I really do. I'm shooting. And trust me, I know he's shooting. In the meantime, we'll check back with you tomorrow here on Post to Post. Happy birthday, Xavier Woods.